We live in an age where we are constantly tired. Look around. Everyone is exhausted. We treat this fatigue as if it were physical, a lack of sleep, too much work, the stress of modern life. But there is a hidden leak in our tank. We call this the era of hatred. When we hear that title, we look outside. We think of wars, political polarization, social media arguments, and the conflicts out there in the world. We think, yes, they are full of hate. But the surprise is this: the war is not out there. The war is inside. Civilizations throughout history have always depicted human evolution as a battle. From the Iliad and the Odyssey in Greece to the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata in India. Why were the ancients so obsessed with war? Because they knew that the human condition is an internal civil war. We are losing a tremendous amount of energy fighting ourselves. Imagine a car with a handbrake pulled up and the driver is slamming on the accelerator. The engine screams. The tires burn rubber. Smoke fills the air. But the car doesn't move, it just burns fuel. That is you when you hate. That is us. We are a closed system of limited energy. We are not eternal beings in these bodies. Our time is short, 78 years if we are lucky. Yet, we spend this precious, finite fuel trying to mentally destroy others, holding on to grudges, and reliving past hurts. This video is an invitation to stop the car. It is an invitation to look at the engine of hatred, understand how it works, and reclaim the energy you are wasting. Because a new cycle is coming, and you cannot enter a new life dragging the corpses of the old one. Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist philosopher, famously said, "Hell is other people." It is a brilliant phrase. It is perhaps one of the most convenient philosophies ever invented. Why? Because if hell is the other, then the fault is always theirs. The two greatest inventions of humanity are the wheel and the scapegoat. It is beautiful, isn't it? If the other person is a problem, then they have to change. They have to evolve. They have to apologize. And I can stay exactly as I am. I get to remain stagnant, pointing my finger. This creates a psychological need for a scapegoat. We need someone to hate. In the office, it's the boss. In a marriage, it's the mother-in-law. In the family, as Freud would say, it's the mother. We always find a character to dump our garbage onto. There is an old story, a metaphor about two friends who go into the woods. Let's call it the parable of the bag of snakes. Imagine two friends who made a pact to stop drinking alcohol because it was ruining their lives. They go on a camping trip to fish. One friend sees the other loading a heavy sack into the truck. He asks, "What is that? Are you bringing bottles?" "We promised to stop." The other friend gets offended. "How dare you? I trust myself. This isn't alcohol." "Then what is it?" The friend replies, "It's a sack of snakes. Just in case we don't find any in the woods, I brought my own." This sounds absurd, but this is what we do emotionally. We walk through life carrying a sack of snakes on our backs. Why? Because when something goes wrong, we need something to blame. We need a snake to bite us so we can say, "I'm the victim." In our society, victimhood is a sport more popular than football. We wake up looking for who offended us. If we pass a whole day and no one treats us badly, we feel withdrawal symptoms. We go into our memories to find someone who hurt us 10 years ago, just to get that fix of indignation. This dependency on the other, as the source of our misery, is the first battery that powers the machine of hate. The second source of hate is much deeper. It comes from a simple question that is surprisingly difficult to answer. Who are you? If I ask you this, you might say, "I am a lawyer," or "I am a doctor." But that is what you do, not what you are. If you retire, do you cease to exist? No, you might say, "I am the one who lives at this address, with this name." But if you lose your house and change your name, are you still you? Yes, so who are you? Most people face a terrifying void when they try to answer this, and to fill this void, they grab onto an opinion and turn it into an identity. They say, "I am a Democrat, I am a Republican, I am a fan of this sports team." They identify as the opinion. This is dangerous. Because if I am my opinion, and you attack my opinion, you are not just disagreeing with me, you are killing me. You're attacking my very existence. This is why we hate people we've never met on the internet. This is why families dissolve over politics. We build our castle on the quicksand of opinions. And because opinions are fragile and always changing, we have to defend them with aggressive violence. If you knew who you truly were, your identity was built on your values, your character, and your internal essence, someone could attack your opinion, and you would remain calm. You would listen, because your opinion is just something you have. It is not what you are. Let's dissect this monster further. What else lies beneath the skin of hate? First, it is fear. Think of a small dog, a chihuahua, or a poodle. When they feel threatened, they bark, they snap, they attack. It doesn't matter how small they are, fear makes them aggressive. Behind almost every act of human hate, there is a frightened child. We are always on the defensive. We lock our emotional doors. Ask yourself, what are you so afraid that people will take from you? Do you fear they will take your dignity, your pride? The poet Khalil Gibran asked, "Why do you lock your house? What treasure do you have inside? Do you have the peace that changes the world? If not, leave the doors open." Maybe someone will come in and steal your emptiness. We hate because we are terrified of being exposed. Second, it is projection. Carl Jung, the great psychoanalyst, taught us about the shadow. We all have traits. We don't like laziness, greed, selfishness. But the ego hates to admit these things. So, what do? We sweep them under the rug. But the law of life is ironic. If you sweep laziness under the rug, life will send you a co-worker who is the laziest person on earth, and you will hate them. You will obsess over them. Look at him, he does nothing. Everyone else sees he is lazy, but they just shrug. You, however, are furious. Why? Because he is acting out the script you are suppressing in yourself. You are not fighting him. You're fighting your own shadow reflected in him. Third, dehumanization. Look at how movies entertain us. A villain kills the hero's family. The hero then hunts the villain down and brutally kills him. And we, in the cinema audience, cheer. We feel good seeing a human being destroyed. Why? Because we dehumanized him. We labeled him monster, enemy, foreigner. Historically, did this with barbarians, then heretics, now political opponents. Once you strip someone of their humanity, hate becomes easy. It becomes a righteous crusade. But remember, when you dehumanize another, you are the one losing your humanity. So what do we do with this energy? Religions and society often tell us, don't hate, it's a sin, repress it. But repression is dangerous. It's like capping a volcano. It will explode later, and it will be ugly. The ancient Hermetic philosophy, found in the Kybalion, offers a better solution. Transmutation. The principle of polarity states that opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Think of a thermometer. Where does hot end and cold begin? It's the same mercury, the same scale, just a different vibration. The same applies to emotions. Fear and courage are on the same scale. Hate and love are on the same scale. You cannot destroy energy, but you can slide it along the scale. A person who has the capacity for intense hate also has the capacity for intense love. The problem is not the intensity. It is the direction. We have lost the technology of love. We think love is a passive accidental passion that hits us like a truck. But real love, mature love, is a construction. It is an act of will. I remember a time when my children were small. Every night, when I came home, I found a doll on my pillow. They knew I was lonely, and in their childish way, they tried to fill that void. That is the symptom of love. Perceiving the need of the other and moving to fill it. But we can do this consciously. We can take the burning energy of anger and ask, how can I use this fire to build something, to set a boundary, to protect something valuable, to push a project forward? Don't kill the fire. Use it to warm the house instead of burning it down. Let's talk about power. Not political power, but self-mastery. Imagine you wake up in a great mood. You are singing with the birds. You go to the bakery, and the baker is rude to you. He insults you. Suddenly, your smile vanishes. You spend the rest of the day angry, complaining to everyone about the rude baker. Think about what just happened. Who controls your life? You know, the baker owns you. He snapped his fingers, and you change your emotional state. He holds the leash. When we respond to hate with hate, we are surrendering our sovereignty. We are saying, I have no control over my own soul. My environment dictates who I am. There is a powerful historical account from the Spanish conquest of the Americas. The Spanish conquistadors were brutal. They burned crops, killed innocents, and used terror as a weapon against the Incas. At one point, a Spanish captain asked an Inca leader, why don't you fight back the way we fight? Why don't you use our terror tactics against us? The Inca leader reportedly said, we only want this land if we can stand on it. If we have to crawl like snakes to keep it, you can have it. This is the ultimate definition of dignity. If I have to lower myself to your level of hatred to win, then I have already lost. I have lost my essence. Plato said that courage is the ability to retain your reason and your values in the face of danger. If I become a beast to fight a beast, the beast has one. Even if I kill it, if someone insults you, they are generating a cause. The universe is governed by cause and effect. They will face the consequences of their actions. But you do not have to be the executioner. You do not have to be the stone they trip over. Respect yourself enough to say you deserve a reaction, but I respect myself too much to be the one to give it to you. We are reaching the end of our reflection. The world we live in is a jungle. It cultivates hate. It teaches us that to succeed, we must step on others. It teaches us that justice means revenge. But deep down, you know this is wrong. You feel the exhaustion. Health, mental, emotional, and physical depends on harmony. You cannot be healthy while holding poison in your heart. We are all connected. The ancients taught that humanity is like a necklace of beads. We are individual beads, but the same thread runs through us all. When I hurt you, I pull the thread, and I choke myself. When I judge you, I narrow my own world. So how do we escape the error of hatred? By remembering our purpose. There is a thought I want to leave you with. Whenever you feel the urge to scream, to blame, to destroy, Pause and remember this mission statement. I have only one purpose: to push humanity forward, even if just by a single millimeter on its long journey back to the source. If your action, which pushes humanity backward, don't do it. If your anger creates more division, let it go. Be the one who breaks the cycle. Be the one who absorbs a blow and returns silence, or better yet, returns understanding. It is not easy. It is the work of a lifetime, but it is the only war worth fighting. Don't let the noise of the world drown out your inner music. Thank you for listening.